Hey,
Hello.
welcome back.
Welcome.
Why is it every time?
It's never gonna not.
You know
be
what it
stupid.
is? If I'm extra breathy in this one, I apologize. I have allergies.
I will edit my best.
But every time we say hi, I look to you to say more, and then you dead stop, and then I'm like, I gotta laugh because I don't know what to do.
Yeah, so every time we're gonna be like, hello.
Anyway, I'm Dead.
And I'm bored.
And welcome back
Welcome.
to Dead and Bored Podcast.
Oh my god.
The podcast where you're probably going to be dead soon, and you're probably bored now.
You're definitely bored now. Reading everyone's tweets, everyone's fucking bored out of their gourd.
Can I tell you, I need to stay off social media.
Pretty
People
not.
I can't take them.
People are very not interesting right now.
That one, or it's a pissing match of like,
Oh, my situation's worse.
yeah. I'm like,
But that's
bitch,
how-
you don't get anything if your situation's bad. Like, no one's giving you anything. It's not like you get a fucking gold star from the apocalypse. Unless you do.
No,
it.
you
Oh,
don't.
okay. I didn't know if that was a part of the stimulus
No,
bill.
you only get a gold star if you're killed in the rapture. Then you got a gold star.
Remember the Rapture days?
Yeah, I remember the rapture.
Honestly, I miss when the world was funny like that. Not what's going on now.
It's definitely not funny right now.
No, I miss when it was like, guess what, guys? A horn's gonna blow. Half of us is gonna disappear.
People are just gonna,
We're gonna be with the Lord. I miss that.
when that was your only concern.
Yeah, I miss the Rapture. Can we bring the Rapture back?
I'm all set.
At least it was fun. Because you're like, oh, I wonder if like Bob next door is gonna get sucked up to God.
No, it only took
I got sucked up
just
to God.
just like vacuum sealed up into
It's like
space.
No, I imagine it to be like Galaxy Quest when they like pop off into like other
Oh, right.
places, but it was like the first time and they're all slimy and
Yeah.
they're like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
Like that's what I imagine.
Where they just
You get
shoot
sucked
you.
up to
Yeah.
God. Yeah, God likes you moist. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's true.
And there
I've never
goes
re-
our 4 Christian listeners.
I've never read that book of his, but I'm pretty sure that's in it. Hello, I like him moist. He's also nicknamed Raspy Joe.
Raspy Joe Jesus loves a good moist person. I don't know where this is going. But you know what, though? What I blame is COVID-19. COVID-19 is coming up with some really weird grade, like, F-level comedy right
Oh my
now.
god, filled with it. It's just people being like angry and sad online.
Ugh, I can't.
Try to have fun.
That's the thing, is that people make assumptions, too, and, like, they don't know what everyone's going through, and so...
Yeah, people do that without a situation like this happening.
That is very true. And I just also think a lot of people just take this opportunity to be like,
I'm sadder than you,
Yeah.
okay? So you should be feeling bad for me. It's like, no, everyone's fucked up right now. Get over
I
it.
know, I'm just like,
The only
do you
people
realize how fucking stupid you sound right now? Like, you're an idiot,
you
bro.
just look like a fucking huge douche.
Oh my
And
God.
guess what? We're gonna remember your names when everything goes back to normal.
I have a list already.
Do we ever?
I have a list of just people that are fucking dumb. That you're like,
One thing
calm down.
One thing I don't want to see is rich people talking about how they're dealing with the coronavirus.
Fuck you
Like,
guys.
Oh, you're having trouble in your fucking huge mansion with your help in your backyard doing your yard work while you're supposed to be dealing with this. Oh my god,
They're
please.
so relatable, though.
Let's just insert the Gene Wilder. Oh, tell me how you're so sad in your fucking mansion, you huge piece of shit.
You know what? They are sad because now, like, the help staff that they have to come, like, raise their shitty kids, they can't make it to their mansions.
Yeah, they have to do things themselves.
So they have to raise their shitty children on their own.
I've ignored
That's
them for this
hard.
long. I know.
You know, you have to remember all their names. That's fucking difficult.
I know. It's
I
a
feel
shame.
bad for these celebrities.
Someone should just Sharpie their names on their hand so they're like, oh, which one? The little one is Jason and the big one is Terry. Oh, hey guys.
Hey.
Like, why does it say our names on your hand? And let's go to the basement movie theater that we have.
Welcome back to
Anyway.
the apocalypse. We're going to be talking about today some Scream 4
Scream 4, the end
of
of
the
Scream
series.
movies.
Yeah.
Even though the third one was the end of the trilogy, they still made this one.
Yeah. And then there's also a TV show, which we've had some people ask if we are going to do it.
And we don't know yet because it's so bad.
We watched like the first episode and I was like, get me the fuck out of here.
We did
like,
not-
I can't.
We did not finish. It was
No.
hot garb.
I hated it.
It was hot, buttery garbage.
I think it would make a really good podcast, though.
Oh, it definitely would.
Just like tear into it. But I think for right now.
Once I make a Patreon,
yeah.
people have to pay for that. I'm sorry.
Behind
I-
a paywall.
I need to be paid $2 per person in order
To
to watch
watch
that,
that shit.
fucking garbage show.
You never know. It might happen. It might very well happen. So Scream 4, directed by
Wesley Craves.
Wesley Craves, who came back. He
Wesley
said,
Craves
hey.
did all 4.
Oh, That he didn't come back. He said, I'm here to finish. I have nothing else to do.
Finishing this. Okay. Guess who's also back?
Kevin
Our boy,
Williamson. Which, you know what? He knows how to write for teenagers.
He does. Which is a weird thing to say.
Yes.
But he has...
Because he's an adult man.
Well, he knows how to write adults playing teenagers.
He really does.
Because this wave of teenagers, so not believable.
Oh, no.
We will get into that.
But yes.
So this takes place 10 years after Scream 3.
It's 10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
10 hot years.
So, let's see. She is probably about my age then, Sidney.
Sid, yeah.
So she's probably like around 34.
30-ish, yeah.
We'll just say she's my age, 34. I have to make sure that you know it's my age and not your age.
We'll make sure all the listeners know as well.
Guys, my birthday's in October. Just saying, I love cake. Okay. Did they say that in the movie?
No, I had to go on IMDb for that.
Okay, because
But it was like literally the beginning of the description is 10 years after Sidney.
Oh, interesting. Okay, because they didn't reference any time frame.
Nobody said a time window.
They
because Randy wasn't there to be like, hey guys, do meta.
Can I tell you, it's actually the first movie that doesn't have him in it.
At all. It's amazing.
But they reference his character.
Yeah.
Like, just once, at the end.
At the end, yeah.
And you were like,
he's like,
I can't. All right.
And then he immediately dies.
Hey, we're jumping ahead.
We don't know who we're talking about
yet.
We're
jumping ahead.
We're literally, all we know is Sidney right now.
Listen, they're going to figure out in 2 seconds.
Yes. The killer is, I'm kidding.
All right.
So,
Cold Open.
Cold Open was actually pretty fun this time.
I think it's my second favorite Cold Open.
I like that it's...
Or maybe my third. My third. I love the first one.
What was
the second one? Was
the second one again?
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh, right.
That one was good.
That one was good. Yeah, that's my third.
And then this would be my third favorite. Yeah. And then Cotton Weary, even though I have still so many questions.
I know. I was going to say, you have no reason to bring up Cotton Weary.
Can I tell you, that makes me so sad.
There you go, bringing up Cotton in the first 20 minutes.
The only time...
I thought you were going to keep talking about Cotton.
No. Well, one, they don't bring up Cotton Weary, and they don't bring up the fact that Maureen Prescott was ugly.
Oh my god. It's the generation now.
Yeah, so they don't give a fuck.
It's all about Sidney.
Yeah, they're like, whatever.
No one's like, Maureen Prescott's a whore and an uggo.
Well, actually, no. They do, but they never say uggo, though.
No, they never say it's...
Lego my uggo. They never say that.
I like the chocolate chip ones.
I like it when they're a little, never mind.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. So this Cold Open starts out with, of course, a couple of white girls.
Dumbass white girls with a fucking kick phone.
The sidekick.
I was jealous. Always like the rich kids had that phone. And I had like a stick cell phone, which, I mean, listen, not a lot of people had cell phones, so I'm not going to complain. But when I wanted a sidekick, my mom said, "Ooh, fuck yourself." I was like, okay.
I always thought those phones were cool, but I was like, no one texts me.
Well,
so why the fuck?
I can't help that you didn't have friends. I had 6.
Yeah, realistically, I didn't care. I just played video games.
Because you were too cool for a sidekick.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, actually.
Or not cool enough for a sidekick. Probably that one.
Rich kids had the sidekick, but then rich kids also had Blackberries.
They did have Blackberries.
I never had a Blackberry.
I didn't fuck with a Blackberry.
So
I had a fuking Game Boy Advance. That's all I needed.
Oh, God. So when they would all like BBM each other, like, I'm BBMing. I'd be like, I don't know what the fuck. What does that mean?
Are you BDSMing? Cool. Have fun.
I was T9ing people, okay? Like, it took me fucking 25 minutes to just say, hey, what's up?
Because you do click. Next. Click.
22225554556. That's what I did. So fuck these kids.
That's the thing is you get good at that too, and you're like, oh my god, it's just one button for one letter. You're like, holy shit balls, this is magic. So one of the girls is texting.
God, yeah, she's texting. She's being white and just annoying. And she's like, I have a Facebook stalker. But you know what, though? It's totally fine because he looks like this guy. And then the other white girl is like, yo, that's Channing Tatum, dumbass. And she's like, ugh, I'm so white.
I could tell because I'm so white and white girls love Channing Tatum.
White girls love Channing Tatum.
Is that what you're getting at right now?
Oh, yeah.
100%. Accurate.
Yeah. 100% cotton over here, right? If you listen to number 3, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway.
Why would you jump into 4 and not listen to 3?
You're a monster.
That's what I'm getting at. Like you fucked up somewhere in your life, and it's also right here. So while this is happening, the other girl is getting phone calls
from Ghostface.
From Ghostface, and immediately is like, "I'm gonna kill you." Blah.
Oh, and she's just like, "Here's a phone."
She panics for a second and just like, it's for you.
And the girl's like, why'd you give it to me? And she's like, well, you have a Facebook stalker. And she's like, that's so not funny.
And then she's like, I gotta lock the door. And she's like, why do you lock the doors? We're only getting weird, creepy threats and shit.
Well, yeah, no, she asked if the doors were locked. Mm-hmm. And she was like, and then the doorbell rang. And then the sidekick thing was just like, answer your door.
And she's like, they were very like...
They were so loud. It was like,
every time she flipped it up, they like zoomed in on it. It was like, they were like,
I think it
Spawn.
was, I was just going to say, I think it was actually, the movie was sponsored by Sidekick.
My one thing that I wrote for this part was, imagine living in a world where you just didn't lock your door automatically.
You mean your mother's house in Long Island?
Yeah. Well, one of them, the only way to lock it was to put this one piece of wood to block it because there's this big sliding door.
Even the fucking front door, which would drive me crazy.
No, they started locking it after a certain point.
Yeah, after like I was there for a couple of years.
Yeah. We've even had some weird shit happen. This one time, this like crazy white guy was just walking up the driveway. Yeah, I know. I was young too. I remember that because my dad went outside and was like, "Hey, what's going on?
Hey, buddy!"
And he just looked lost. And I was like, holy fuck balls, what is happening?
So he was just like lost?
I think so. I don't know.
So your dad was just like, get out of here, get her out of here.
I don't I don't think my dad was on the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. He wasn't like, get her done and get out of my yard. I don't know.
You might be a redneck.
You might be a redneck if you keep coming in my yard. They call me Tater Salad if you come into my
Okay. It's about time you tell the listeners who you really are. You're from that world.
My lineage is the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. It's out now. I'm sorry.
You know, it's a secret that we've been keeping for many years, but it's about time. This coronavirus is bringing out the worst in people.
It's just the secrets of my papa that I've been trying to keep secret for centuries.
I don't even care if anybody laughs at that. That was for me.
That's for you. Good. I'm glad it's
and it made me so happy.
But yeah, imagine not locking your doors.
That's fucking crazy to me. Yeah. I grew up where we locked our door. We live in Queens. We still live in Queens, but you've been to that house. You have to lock your doors. Otherwise, people will just fucking walk right up in it.
Yeah, that's pretty terrifying.
The one time I was waiting for the mail, and the house next door to our house, they rented rooms out. And the scariest thing was I was waiting for the mail to come, and this dude just started walking out the stoop and trying to like come in the house, and he didn't speak any English, and I remember getting in his face being like, you don't live here, and he just went like he just like a dog, Scooby-Doo, like
house, like
I'm like, you don't live here. He just like looked at me, kind of gave me a dirty look, and then walked down the stairs, and then realized he was next door. And then I remember the mailman coming up to me and was like, that was some crazy shit. It's like, I know.
They don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
So she's getting text on her sidekick. It's saying, open the front door. I dare you. And
the other girl's like, fine.
The other girl's like, we got to open the door because he said so. And the other girl was like, I didn't write their names down because who cares?
No, they're just white person 1, white person 2.
So the other one's like, don't open the door. Someone's texting me. And she opens the door wide open, walks out, and just puts her arms up.
Nothing's
and
there.
Then it's like, hey, there's nothing here. But then stands in the doorway.
And back to the street. Yeah. Which I was like, that's stupid.
And then sidekick girl gets another text that says, I'm not outside.
I'm right next to you.
I'm right next to you. And they're like, what does that mean? I'm still standing in the fucking doorway with the door open like an idiot. And then the girl inside gets stabbed. And then the girl outside
gets like her throat
Another
slashed.
ghost face comes and stabs her. It fucking just cuts her throat. And then Teresa pointed out that
her hair gets stuck in the fucking lock.
As she falls down, her hair gets like in the locking mechanism and then slowly goes out.
I was like, shit, that's fucking painful.
She got murdered.
No, I know, but I was just like, in my head, I was like, oh god, the back of my head hurts. Not the fact that she got a throat slit.
She's like, oh, I can't breathe. And then mid of like bleeding out, she's like, oh, that
my hair.
My hair's caught in the thing. Can you get that for me?
Ghost is like, sure, no problem.
No, yeah, sure, no problem. I got that for you.
It says stab 6. Like, So then is 2 girls sitting on a couch.
Yes.
Sookie Stackhouse.
Yes.
And Veronica Mars.
Great. So it's Anna Paquin and Kristen Bell.
So they're sitting on the couch, and
Sookie is
just like, this is fucking stupid, y'all.
Horse shit. They killed the horror movies. This is so not scary. And Kristen Bell's like, I think it is scary because, you know, it's people. It's not aliens or other bullshit.
Yeah, she's like, I really like this movie. It's so good. I like it.
And Sookie's like, fucking bullshit. I hate this. It's meta bullshit. Stay in 1996.
Yeah, she was like really coming for those movies.
Oh, God, she was. Yeah. And then, like, what do they do to you, bitch, besides not have you in them? That was uncalled for.
Do you remember? Whatever happened to her?
I don't know.
I just know that your brother
I was just going to say,
hates her.
My brother hates her with a burning passion. It's like, I hate her fucking face so hard.
I'm like, why?
I
don't know why. He never gave me a good enough reasoning.
He doesn't have one.
He just, oh, okay. I mean, we all have those people that you just see their face and you're like, oh, you're just a punchable face.
But it's never like...
I have at least 6 I can think of.
Are those people that wronged you in real life?
No, but knowing that they have a punchable face makes everything that they do extra annoying. They could just say hello to me and I'd be like, I just want to punch you.
And you're like, hello, Carl.
And I think that's what your brother's distaste for her.
I honestly think that's what it is.
One time I remember him saying to me like, oh, she's such a stupid fucking gap in her teeth. And I looked at him and I went, I have a gap in my teeth. And he went, you're not Anna Paquin.
Yeah.
I was just like,
I'm pretty sure he was just like, no, yours is fine. I hate hers. And it's like, it's literally the same shit. He just hates that person.
He just hates anything she does. She could literally give $7 billion to corona testing. And she's like, she didn't give $8 billion.
Yeah, it's like, 7.2. What about the rest of it? Fucking Anna Paquin.
No matter what she does, she's not going to win. But anyway, so Anna Paquin's just going off being just, Anna Paquin.
And she's like, they never see it coming. It's so stupid. And then Kristen Bell just kind of like looks up and just fucking stabs her in the gut.
It was like, you didn't see this coming. And she's like, but why? And she's like, because you talk too much. Which made me laugh.
Now watch the fucking movie. And then she presses play on the movie.
And then it's like,
Step 7. It's like, oh, this is how we're starting this movie?
What the fuck? And then it cuts to another
two more girls.
2 more white girls that are just sitting there.
Marnie and I don't know, the taller
Trudy.
Trudy was the taller one?
Yes. Trudy was a taller one.
Marnie's like child size.
Yeah, Marnie was 4'2".
4'1".
She was actually a 12-year-old child. Marnie the Carney, they called her too, which I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, they did. That's pretty fucked.
Okay. So then it opens up to these 2 girls and they're both sitting on the couch and Marnie, the smaller one, the child one, was like, I hate these movies. I hate Stab. I hate all of them. Mm-hmm. And Trudy, the taller one, was trying to explain why they're so great. Mm-hmm. And basically, she likes him because it's about Woodsboro. So there's like nothing really has happened in Woodsboro since the murders. And that's the only claim to fame for this town.
Well, they also mentioned that
is these murders.
That the first 3 movies are based off what happened.
Yes.
And then
Sidney Prescott tried to sue.
Yeah, they got sued. So then 4 plus is just garbage. And they're like 5 is like time travel. And I'm both like, that sounds awesome.
Which I was like, I would love to know everything about number 5.
I know. Can we see number 5, please?
Which made me think about Hellraiser. And I don't know if it's like a dig at Hellraiser.
Maybe.
Because there was a period piece for Hellraiser.
Was that 4 or 3?
4 was the one. 3 was boring.
3 was
Hellraiser was like, that was hard to get through.
That was one at the end where they're like walking on the street.
Yeah, I was like, shut the fuck up.
It was so fucking boring.
And it was like Vietnam War. I was like, ah.
Like, I don't care about any of this shit.
Number 4, I think it was just like people with powdered wigs from like the 1700s or something. It was really weird.
Yeah, didn't it start with like Adam Scott?
Yeah, it was Adam Scott's masterpiece. Oh my God, it was just amazing. Really weird. It made no fucking sense. 5 was the best.
5 was absolutely the best, and we need to do that.
I know.
But also, I actually have a thing. So they made it Stab 3.
Yeah.
After everyone got killed.
Yes, I guess so. Yeah.
Why?
I have no idea.
I feel like that would never happen.
I have no idea.
Like, did they do it off of what happened? Stab 3 was literally them trying to make Stab 3 and then everyone gets killed making Stab 3?
Probably. It probably did that.
That's fucking so stupid.
I know.
That would never happen.
That makes sense, like, because like the first 3 stabs follow. Well, Scream 1, 2, 3, right?
Is the first 2.
Exactly. And then number 3, which they were making Stab 3, couldn't get completed because everyone died.
Yeah.
So they probably redid the movie and again included Sidney Prescott in some way. And then 4, 5, 6, 7 became its own
a
thing.
Masterpiece of time and space.
So 6 was like a Facebook killer. 7 was the 2 girl. Like, actually, you don't really know what happens in 7.
7 is literally just that.
You don't really know what happens in 4 either.
Mm-hmm.
You just know that they are wildly different from what actually happened. Which most horror movies do, or especially if it's like something that's based on a true story, then it's all fucked up.
They keep going. You're just like, all right, Amityville horror, nobody cares.
Well, that was the thing, is that like Amityville actually has like 75 fucking sequels. One of them has time travel. Like 1992, I think it has like time travel aspect to it. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any of those movies.
They're not good.
Maybe one with you. It's like, how is there 40 of those movies?
They used to play on at like 2 o'clock in the morning on Channel 11, like on Saturday into Sunday. Like it would just be very strange. Those movies suck. They're not good.
I've never heard any.
Even the original is just, I don't think, like they remade it with Ryan Reynolds. Still wasn't good. Yeah, it's very different, I think, from what the movies portrayed. Yeah. But there's no real.
There's no real sell to it. It doesn't seem like it's just a.
Sounds like I mean, the real story is the guy went crazy, killed his whole family.
Yeah.
But then I think he took it as like, oh no, I was possessed by the devil. Meanwhile, people have since bought the house several times and no one has ever talked about it. But it was such a big, I don't know,
publicity
eyesore, like the house, that people just like fucking like flocked to it. Like it was like, oh my God, the devil lives there. Like, and that's why on that particular street in Amityville, Long Island, there's no actual addresses, which is actually really interesting. Like, how the fuck do you get your mail delivered?
I think they do like a special training for the mailman.
Probably.
This is the street. You know what to do.
They have like water, and they just like touch the envelope, and then it like the numbers appear Harry Potter style. Like, oh, okay. Anyway, the point of this whole fucking thing is we're not even out of the cold open. I'm so sorry.
That always happens. What are you talking about?
Jesus Christ. But so it's these 2 little white girls, and you're just talking. One loves stab, the other one's like, I hate horror movies.
This is stupid.
Dumb.
Yeah. So not Marnie goes upstairs.
Trudy's like, hey, I hear a noise. Let me go upstairs.
Yeah.
She goes upstairs. At the same time, Marnie then gets a phone call, who happens to be like Ghostface killer, and was like, what's your scary movie? And she's just like, and then ultimately Ghostface is like, I'm gonna kill you. And then you just hear a giggle, and you realize that the girl from upstairs
is just
Trudy,
like, that was so easy, I couldn't help it.
Like, she called her from her cell phone because she has this
app or whatever bullshit.
So now it has upgraded from, in 3 the voice modulator was like really like high tech. Now it's a fucking app that anybody could use, and it's the specific voice too, which is really fucking funny.
I know.
But all right, fine. So that happens. And then while she's talking to her, Marnie's like, that's not funny. And then like,
you just hear like,
and gurgles. And then automatically like the line goes down. Trudy thinks it's a prank, but it's not a prank.
So Trudy goes downstairs and it's like, oh, dropping the phone on the floor in the dark. How fucking original. Well, you should direct a horror movie.
Oh, God,
And then keeps walking around and then,
phone rings.
My God, I forgot.
So the phone rings. She picks up the phone and it's Ghostface, the Ghostface.
The actual Ghostface.
And talking to her and just being like, hey, I got Marnie. She's on the cutting room floor because all these fucking puns that they always say about.
They live for it. It's like, guys.
So annoying.
Can a movie dweeb not be a killer once in one of these movies?
I know. It's never the case. So they're doing all these puns back and forth. And then
the best thing happens.
Poor little Marnie's body flies through the window.
Thrown through the window like a fucking brick.
So which makes me go, like, was that kid really that fucking strong?
Absolutely not.
Or there had to be at least 2 people that like fling that girl's body into the window.
There's no fucking way. Because when you find out who the killers are at the end of the movie,
you're just like, how? You're tiny.
There's no possibility that you little scrawny bitch, and you scrawny boy, can throw a human adult child through a window. Yeah. Or do half of the shit that they do in this movie.
It's bullshit. So Marnie flies into the window broomstick style, and then Trudy's like, ah! And then she's running up the stairs, and then, long story short, there was like a different part of her house that I guess is being built. Yeah. Which I was kind of like, all right, these people obviously have money. Jesus Christ.
No shit. Especially if they leave the doors open.
I know, right? Fucking Woodsboro. Didn't they learn their lesson?
I know. How would they?
Even 10 years later, these little fuckers. So ultimately, Ghostface reaches up with her, stabs her in the back, and then as she's trying to crawl out of the garage, because that's where she ultimately ended up, he lowers down the garage door, car, basically like just crushing her like back
a little,
her tailbone.
I think just to slow her down.
And then he drags her into the garage and stabs her to death and blah blah. That's it.
Scream 4.
Cold open down.
Title card.
Sorry, what was that? Fucking 45 fucking minutes.
Yeah, but we went off on the tangent about the old Stabs movies, so it's fine. At least I wasn't talking about Cotton for fucking 42 minutes.
First of all, Cotton's wonderful. Don't you ever fucking forget it. That's what this movie doesn't have.
Cotton was never mentioned in this movie.
It makes me sad. It opens up into the town of Woodsboro.
Woodsboro, it's nice and sunny.
It looks fucking great.
It's super bright.
The first movie, it looked like a podunk little town.
It was run down, not great.
It's not even that. Like,
it's just a
you could also understand, like, we're from New York City, so like we're judging everything. Everything that has like a nice, like,
doesn't have any big buildings. So it's obviously a poor fucking town.
There's no hot dog carts on the street. What the fuck is this? No, I mean, it had like a nice little small like main street and a little gazebo town. I don't know.
One gazebo town.
It's a one stop like gazebo town. And now I'm like, oh shit, look, there's some stores. More than just like there's 2 stores.
Hustle and bustle.
I love it. It looked like rich people lived there.
Yeah.
Like it definitely looked like the town did better.
Yes, the town's definitely been...
And you know why it did better? Because it was profiting off of poor fucking Maureen Prescott's death. That town looked wonderful because there were probably asshole randos that wanted to come there and just try to find where this lady died.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably turned it into a touristy town.
Also, there was no mention of Neil Prescott in this movie at all.
I know, the damn dad.
What happened?
Well, she's able to support herself, as you can find out. Sidney wrote a book.
Yeah, so it actually opens up to the town, and in the town, you see on the light posts, there's actually little Scream guys everywhere.
Ghostface guys.
Little Ghostface everywhere, which I was like, oh, that's kind of cute.
A lot of work.
A lot of work.
But it wasn't the town, it was a bunch of kids playing a prank.
Yes. And
because it's, of course, the anniversary of the fucking everything happening.
Which, to me, was kind of weird that she made a book, and the book's title was Out of Darkness. And she happens to be there. This is the last spot on her book tour, and it is the anniversary of the original Woodsboro murders. Yeah. Not Maureen Prescott, but what happened to Sidney. Because Sidney.
Yeah. Well, this one's all about Sid. They don't talk about Maureen. They don't drop Maureen's name at all in this movie.
They do. They do twice when they yell at Sidney. No, you're like your mother.
They don't say Maureen Prescott. You're like Maureen Prescott.
No, because they fail to acknowledge that Maureen Prescott's death brought so much liveliness to that fucking town. Okay? Fuck those people.
I didn't know I was going to be on like some fucking...
You know, me neither. And it just clicked. And maybe it's because I'm tired, and maybe it's because I'm in a quarantine. I don't know what it is.
It's working.
But you know what, though? I want more vindication for fucking Maureen Prescott, who was brutally raped.
All right.
Brutally
we're not talking
murdered.
We're not talking about this again.
And it was called an UGO for 3 movies.
I know. We talked about it for 3 movies. We're done. They're done. No one says Maureen Prescott.
All right.
In this fucking movie.
The fucking point is, so you see Maureen, she's there with Annie.
I'm sorry, who?
Annie.
You said Maureen?
Freudian slip. I wish I was talking about Maureen Prescott.
Oh, shit.
Because I had so many questions for her.
I'm leaving that in.
You see Sidney Prescott, she looks nice. She looks pretty good.
Dress on.
She doesn't have a jean jacket on.
She doesn't.
Not yet, though.
Have the Greek letters
later. And she doesn't have the Greek letters on, and there's no mention of her.
Over Jerry O'Connell's death.
Yes. Because she's out of the darkness.
Out of the darkness. She's not being the victim anymore.
And she doesn't have a McDreamy boyfriend from number 3.
No, where the fuck is...
Did not work out, I guess. I'm assuming. I don't know.
Maybe he's like, I gotta keep doing homicide shit.
I imagine. I feel like they probably have some sad sex, and then that would be it. Like, there wasn't really any sex because they're both the victim in everything.
But they could both be sad together.
Maybe it just wasn't enough because she was stepping out of the darkness.
Maybe her growing as a person, he was not a fan of it because he's like, I live in the darkness,
and I'm stepping out of the darkness.
How many times are you gonna fucking say that?
As many times as I fucking can.
Great. Someone please count it. Because I'm not.
When you find out it's the anniversary of the Woodsboro murders, the town is just filled with little Scream masks everywhere.
And fun.
And she is there to, I guess, do a book reading and a book signing for, her beautiful town of Woodsboro.
Of course.
And that's it. Her publicist, Alison Brie. I call her Annie, though, from Community. I know her as Annie from Community. So I'm going to call her
going to be on Netflix April 1st.
The whole show?
The whole show.
Oh, good. I love this show. Even the later seasons?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Good for you, Dan Harmon. All right. So you see there.
Mm-hmm.
Then it cuts.
You see there.
So she's in Woodsboro, right? Mm-hmm. It's a big deal. It cuts to Dewey, or as I kept calling him, Gooey and
at the
Dale
end of the last episode.
Mm-hmm. So Gooey and Dale, they're actually still married.
Well, yeah. Gooey wakes up. His alarm's going off. Yeah. He's playing the fucking Axel Foley ringtone.
So funny.
I know. He wakes up and you're like, oh, look at him working.
Yeah.
Doing stuff. Getting up in the morning. Right behind him is Gail. Sleeping in.
I know. I was like, look at this little...
Oh, shit. Before she ruined her face with plastic surgery.
Oh, God. So sad.
Oh, my God.
So sad.
Tragic. Dewey goes outside.
You
and
find
guess what?
out.
He's in uniform and he's the fucking sheriff of Woodsboro.
Which, okay. All right. Here's my beef with
which we have so many questions about.
Here's my beef. Number one, he was a deputy. Fine. Mm-hmm. Number two, a year later, he was like still on disability, was not a police officer, was going rogue. Number three, he was so fucking far from Woodsboro. It's not even funny.
And the police.
Because he was merely a technical supervisor on a shitty fucking movie set.
Where everyone got killed.
Where everybody got killed. And he was just like hanging out with Parker Posey's character.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Obviously Parker Posey is amazing, but he did not do police work.
No.
So was he like, fuck it, after 3, like, I guess I'm going to slum it and go back to Woodsboro and take my crown back? I don't know. He was.
Well, the other thing is, how did
he get back to the police?
No, not even that. How did Gail agree to go back to Woodsboro? Was it because when they got married?
I think so. I think because they were going to try to make it right. And then it sounds like they moved there and Dewey took the center stage of being the bumbling fucking idiot sheriff of that town, which apparently you don't need any qualifications in Woodsboro to fucking work in the police station.
It's a sleepy town.
I imagine fucking just wake up and you're
I imagine him as the sheriff. He would just walk into a coffee shop and be like, hey guys, how you doing? Oh, good. Great. How's the kids? Great. And you just take a donut off your plate and be like, have a good one, guys. And then walk in and be like, I love our sheriff.
Yes.
And I think it's like that.
And that is fucking terrible.
And I was thinking, how did he get the job of sheriff?
That's what I'm saying.
He was deputy for 3.5 hours in the first one.
Exactly.
Got stabbed.
Do you think it was like a pity sheriff?
No, I think he had a punch card. So you get you survive enough attacks and then you're automatically promoted to sheriff in Woodsboro.
If that's the case, what am I doing slumming my ass here?
You're not getting stabbed in Woodsboro.
After this quarantine's over,
punch card sheriff.
We are going to go to Woodsboro so we can both be punch card sheriffs.
Perfect. We have to get stabbed 3 times though. We have to survive 3 attacks where we thwart killers.
I'm ready for it.
You're okay with it?
I'm ready for it.
You want to change it up?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go for it.
COVID-19 is not what it's cracked up to be. I'll take a stabbing.
Great.
I'll take 3 attacks by 3 weird high school boys. It's fine.
Yeah, they all have to be high school boys.
All high school boys.
Well, one has to be a director.
Wow. Where are we fucking going with this?
We're literally nowhere.
So Gooey and Dale, they're together. Gooey goes to his car. You find out he's a sheriff. And then as he's getting into his car, another car blows past him really fast. And that's when you meet one of the main characters, who is Herbie, who is Hayden Pantier. Now, she has a very short, sassy haircut that looks like she's a businessman.
Oh, she's business vibes all day in this movie.
She's wearing a fucking...
She's wearing a power suit?
Yeah, a power suit throughout the whole movie.
She's a high school girl, allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly.
A power businessman haircut.
And a power businessman suit.
And drinking cocktails throughout the second half of the movie.
I know. I was
and
just like,
gets fucked up.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, she was drinking straight bourbon.
Yeah, she was going for it.
She's just like, I'm a high school girl.
She's like, I'm a fucking business lady.
You know, in high school, I don't know anybody that was like that.
No, not even a little.
No, and that's what I love about Kevin Williamson, is that he writes these characters that you're like, they're not real.
There's no way these people exist.
I have never seen or ever heard of any high school kid having the vocabulary that any of these fucking kids have.
Not.
Even the smart ones.
I know. You're like, oh, okay. It'll balance. You meet the smart ones, but they're also kind of awkward.
Yes.
Or a little weird.
Yeah.
But Kirby seemed like she was friends with everyone. Or at least friendly with everyone.
Yes.
And then still just a raging alcoholic businessman at the same time.
She was literally a 1960s businessman.
Oh, 100%.
She was a womanizer.
At the end of the movie, you're in her house, and the whole kitchen.
It was so
loaded with alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol and Sprite. By the way.
Then, even the sides are little wine closets.
I was like, where's her parents?
Where are her parents? You never see her parents.
No, because she's like Benjamin Button. She's probably 45 years old, running a very successful advertising agency. And in her spare time, she pretends that she's a 17-year-old girl.
It sounds like a plot. They lost her high school diploma, so she has to go back and get it.
It's basically Billy Madison.
But she already runs the business and has the money.
Yes.
But they're going to kick her off the board if she doesn't get her high school diploma.
That's exactly what we're watching. Basically watching two different movies.
Perfect.
So she blows past and Gooey's like, slow down, Kirby. And that's when you find out her name's
Why
Kirby.
Is he Southern?
I don't know.
Is he also on the Redneck Comedy Tour? With my papa?
He was related to your papa.
Great.
You come from that Arquette money. You do.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Then you find that Kirby is actually picking up the next main character, who is named Jill. And that is the worst character.
The worst part of the movie.
In this whole fucking movie, Emma Roberts. Emma Roberts knows only how to do Emma Roberts. Yeah. I'm convinced that's how she acts in real life. She's the type of person that you never want to be friends with. And I really hope if I ever have the chance to ever talk to her, not that I would, but if I ever did, I would be like, just prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong, because I think you are such an asshole. Everything she does, she only knows how to play like the bitch cunt character.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking annoying because she overacts.
God, in this movie, especially at the end.
Oh, at the end, it was fucking brutal. But throughout the course of it, though, she's just very like, it's not believable. You don't like her. I feel like she was meant to be someone that everyone sympathized with. And you're like, oh my God, like fucking.
Your life is so hard.
Like, Jesus. But
she just comes off as some whiny, like.
Little cunt.
Fucking spoiled bitch. And you're like,
fuck her.
Get the fuck away from me.
So when she gets into the car, you kind of find out that she had a boyfriend at one point named Trevor, who sounds like he's been trying to call her or get in contact with her. But instead, he's like calling all her friends, I guess, to talk to the friends to try to convince her to talk to her. The other main character
who lives right next to her,
named Olivia. Olivia mentions that Trevor called.
She also got a phone call. Yeah.
So as they were driving to school, Emma Roberts gets a phone call, and it's Ghostface. And he's like, "What's your scary movie?" And she's just like, "You sound really weird." She is getting a call from Trudy, and she's like, "Ugh, I hate her. I hate her." And Trudy was murdered. So you're like, oh, this is kind of strange. And it happens to be Ghostface.
Literally last night.
So she then hangs up on Ghostface. And that's when Olivia mentions, that's weird. I got a call actually from Marnie the Carney earlier today. Similar thing happened. So then it cuts back to the town square. And you see Dewey with a deputy. Deputy Judy, I believe her name was, right? Deputy Judy is giving the come fuck me eyes to Dewey.
Oh, she definitely wants the Dewey dick.
Oh, she wants that gooey dick.
She wants gooey all over her face, in and around her mouth.
It's disgusting.
I know.
And you could kind of tell that there's some tension there because she wants to give baked goods to Gooey, and Gooey's like, I can't eat them. And she makes a comment like, that's it's not cheating on your wife.
Yeah.
So there is some tension, obviously, between the three of them.
Day 2. I'm kidding.
Honestly, it really is, though. I was a little tired.
Yes, it's fine.
Mama needed a nap. I was getting a little crabby.
And that was 3 days ago.
It happens.
The kids are at school now.
Okay. All those 27-year-olds.
Yes, all the adults playing high schoolers.
Ugh.
Really in this movie. Ugh. Holy shit. Everyone looks like an adult.
Yes. Especially Kirby, my little powerful businessman.
Oh my God. The most powerful businessman. Goddamn. One thing I wrote was the fucking kid with the headset and like live streaming
with him.
I was like,
there was a kid that was live streaming the whole thing, and he
has this little camera. It's like, how is that streaming? How does that have like Wi-Fi?
I know, because this was like this was like 2011.
Yeah, it's not now.
No, but like that was the thing.
That's a little headset too.
That was the thing that bothered me, is that he wanted to, I guess, like capture his high school experience, or like, I don't know, like was it Hall Pass or something with Robbie?
It's Hall Pass with Robbie.
It was just dumb because he wore this stupid fucking headset that looked like an AT&T headset, and he was just like, "Hey guys, what's your
favorite scary movie?"
And it's like, you little fucking Dorcas, get the fuck out of here. He bothered me. One, because he looked really old.
That's what bothered you?
That's the one. Two, I just didn't like the fact that it didn't make sense of like why he was like live streaming everything. But I guess that's like the whole point of this story, because like the kills were all being like live streamed.
Yeah, but you don't find that out until way later.
Yeah, but they actually weren't being live streamed. They were just being recorded.
Yeah, they were recorded and they're like, we'll edit them later and post them.
They're basically making a YouTube video. But this was like, I guess, pre-vloggers.
Hopefully we get super chats when people get murdered.
$5 avocados.
Dancing avocado gif.
Makes me happy. But you now meet the men that are in this movie. So at first we only meet like all like the high school girls.
All the ladies.
There's only 3 high school boys. There's
only 3 boys in high school.
There's only 3 in this whole high school. There's Trevor.
Trevor?
Oh God.
Oh shit. Trevor's from Queens.
Trevor's from Queens, he is. Trevor is Emma Robertson's ex-boyfriend, you find out. Mm-hmm. And the tallest out of all of them. He's very tall.
Wow, thank you.
I feel like he was the only one that looked like a big dude.
We'll talk about that later.
That's what I'm saying. I'm painting the picture for this audience.
They should have watched the movie, but yes.
Then you have Rory Culkin, who played
I didn't write
Charlie. He played Charlie.
I wrote his name down later because I was like, oh, that's his name after watching it
Charlie,
twice.
Trevor, and Robbie Headcam. And then Robbie is the dork with the fucking headcam.
Little Robbie headcam.
And, nothing really kind of happens, but they're in school and then suddenly everyone's getting a message.
Everyone gets a text message
that
people were murdered.
It actually kind of makes sense, though, because this is the height of... Well, not the height. Now it's the height of social media. But at that point, from 1996, of how things get set around town.
How quickly things go around, yeah.
I think that was very important that all the kids were like, oh my God, I'm getting a text message that someone's dead. Oh man.
Oh my God.
I love the teacher was just like, really? Person's dead?
I didn't get a text.
Nobody likes you, teacher. Nobody likes you. Cuts to the bookstore where
God, this fucking scene.
Gail is dressed up. She's going to the bookstore to meet Sidney, who is giving a powerful reading from Out of Darkness. I love whatever little passage she read.
Of Darkness.
Oh God, I cringed. I was like, God damn it, Sidney.
Did you? Seriously?
My favorite though was Alison Brie's character that was like, hi guys, that was great.
Oh, you mean who she plays in every role?
I hope you got your copy of the book. It's just why are you so good?
She's too good at that character. So
Sidney and Gail now reunite. They hug and whatever, they're just making small talk. And then out of nowhere, fucking all of Woodsboro PD just storms.
Well, first it's
fucking bookshop.
Dewey has enough of a lead so Sidney can be like, oh my God, Dewey, and then give him a hug, and then he's like, hold on, Sid.
Yeah.
And then he's just completely
no one can leave this bookstore.
Everyone in the bookstore, stop.
The call is coming from inside
the house.
And I was like, okay. And I love how Gail's like, so what's going on? And he's like, shut up, Gail. Shut up.
The whole movie.
You're not the police.
Hey, Gail. Hey, Gail, shut up. I'm the sheriff.
I think, you know what? I think for the longest time, probably Gail.
Gail was the alpha?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
And now Dewey is just I'm going to be the alpha, but we all know he's a fucking beta fish. Oh we all know he's a
mega beta fish.
So you find out that they're tracing this phone call, which you got to give it for 2011. That was I guess pretty good technology to
was it?
That quickly. I was like, okay.
It's definitely not that fast.
Whatever. So they're pinging this cell phone that happens to be outside of the bookstore. And of course, it's in
the trunk of a car and her rental.
Ooh. Now I guess she's a material witness. So Sidney's like, I need to leave. And they're like, nah, bitch, you're not leaving. You're staying here forever until we figure out who is a killer.
Oh, shit.
Because everything's happening again. It's Woodsboro 20 years later.
It's all happening really fast, too.
I just don't understand why Sidney would pick to come back to Woodsboro on the day of the anniversary.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know. She's dumb. So
she's just asking for a fucking copycat killer.
She is.
Especially on the day.
Seriously.
Especially end of the book tour. When she's coming back. You can plan this shit.
Oh, I know. So then you fast forward. Now they're in the police station. Sidney talking to Dewey. There's a power struggle between Deputy Judy and Gail. They have a cockfight. It was very, very awkward.
It seems really unnecessary.
I felt like they could have dealt without that, but whatever. They go into a small interrogation room, and that's when you find the three girls, where Sidney reunites with Emma Robertson, her cousin, which was also very awkward.
It's so awkward.
Emma Robertson just can't act. I think that's what bothers me the most. I feel like
you're going to bring this up every scene we talk about her.
Because she's just line. Hi, Sidney. Hi.
Oh,
hug.
Hey.
Okay.
Hello, Sidney.
Hi. We're family. I don't know. No.
She was definitely the weakest link.
She was. She was the weakest link of the whole fucking entire movie. Actually, the funniest part about that whole scene in the police station is when the three girls are talking about how two of them got a phone call, but Kirby was like, I didn't get a phone call. Does that mean I'm going to die first? And Dewey's like, yeah.
He's like, no.
Yeah. And he's like, no, maybe. But maybe. So,
and she was like, oh, cool.
Like, oh, no, I'm going to die. Which I don't understand why all those people, extra people, were around during this police investigation. It just goes to show that Woodsboro is just not
together.
No, it's not together. It never will be together. It's literally a podunk town in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
P.S. I wrote a note about the previous scene with Gail and Dewey. Gail says, I wrote the book on this.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, yeah, you wrote the book on it, but that doesn't mean you know everything about it.
In her mind. So the scene that Alex is referring to is that when she was trying to strong arm Judy, the deputy, to get into Dewey's office to talk to Sidney, she was just like, I've been through this. I lived through this 3 times already, okay? I know who the fucking killer is, and I wrote the book on it. And you know what? I would have to agree with Gail, because everybody in Woodsboro is fucking dumb.
Oh, no, absolutely.
They're dumb. She is their best bet.
I'm just curious what made Gail finally, settle and move to Woodsboro.
I guess after the 3rd one, when she realized her career was probably washed up, she's like, fuck it, I might as well just get pregnant and fat in Woodsboro and just live out my days. Put me out to pasture.
I'll just get blasted every night and have writer's block.
Yeah. When you're kind of becoming an older woman, I'm not gonna fucking look at you the same way as they would a younger girl. So I feel like women don't age as well in Hollywood than, say, men. So in my mind, it makes sense that she was like, fuck it, I don't have anything here anyway. Might as well just go home and get cum dumped every night by the fucking sheriff of Woodsboro because they felt bad for him because he had fucking finger guns at
promoted him.
He didn't have a job for 2 movies, and now they're like, fuck it, make him, he's a sheriff.
But I feel like the sheriff thing definitely went to Dewey's head.
Yeah, it did.
He had I'm the captain now-itis.
He did.
He was just like, look at me, Gail.
He's probably a really good sheriff when nothing is happening.
Yeah, that's probably why he got it.
Yeah. Oh, he was a great sheriff. He's a great sheriff when there's literally nothing going on in the town. Maybe a parade. He's awesome.
It's like Hot Fuzz. The first few things they do, it's like, oh, the swans escaped. And it's like, oh, I got this.
Yes.
And then he takes care of it. It's like, they do the meeting at the end. They're like, hey, guys, we successfully solved everything.
Yeah.
It is returned and safe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Exactly.
And then people take pictures. It goes in the daily Woodsboro paper. Everyone's happy.
The Daily Bugle. The Daily Bugle Woodsboro edition. He is the mayor of Jaws. He is. He's just like, everything's great. It's fine.
Everything's fine. The beach is going to be open. Everyone's going to be swimming and having fun. No shark.
Yeah, it's all good. That's a shark? No, it's not.
Except Dewey would be like, no murders. Because we didn't release that.
Tee. But poor Dewey, though. It gets worse and worse for him. So now Dale.
You're always going to call him Dale.
Dale, kind of at the end of all of that, Dale is just like, yo, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm going rogue. I'm going to fucking figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Because obviously the police here are fucking podunk idiots. And I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. She knows because she's
married to the sheriff.
1995 style.
Old school.
It's like, all right, cool.
But also, when Gail said, I wrote the book on this, she also plugged her book.
She did.
She was like, I wrote the book on this. Pause.
Woodsboro.
Written by Gail Weathers.
Did you know? Do you need a copy?
I'm surprised Dewey wasn't like, yes, I'm married to you. I know you're fucking
I think he has a tattoo of that on his asshole.
So she can look at it when she pegs him.
Oh, she totally pegs him. But that's another story for another day. So fast forward, because now that Sidney is landlocked, cannot leave, she has to stay there. Instead of putting her up at the Holiday Inn, right? They're like, no, you know what? You can stay with family. Go stay with Emma Robertson and your aunt. Go
stay with the part of the family that you don't know.
Yes. So I have actually a couple of interesting notes for that one. 2 things. So in the house, it looks like who's staying there is Kate, which is Sidney's aunt. Sidney doesn't ever call her Aunt Kate. It's very, you could tell it's a very, distant, a clear separation of this is my family, but we're not really that close. You have Emma Robertson's character, which I don't even fucking know her name, so I'm just going to call her Emma Robertson Jill. I forgot.
Yeah, it's literally Jill Roberts.
Oh, Jill Roberts, yeah. It's not that far-fetched, Emma.
Yeah.
You can remember this.
I think it was just in case.
So you have Jill and you have Kirby. Dewey drops her off. Did you notice that it was kind of weird that Dewey was talking to her? It wasn't a friend way. It was very awkward almost because I think she was like, oh, so how are you and Gail doing? And he was just like, it is what it is. And he quoted a line from her book, and then they kind of just stared at each other for 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was so
weird.
And
then he was like, all right, I gotta go. Which almost implied that he wanted to fuck her. Or so, I don't know. It was just weird. But I was just like, that's kind of a weird thing. Why are you giving the fuck me eyes to Sid? Explain yourself.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was strange.
Yeah, it definitely was weird.
But you have that going on. And my favorite is when Kirby said oh, you can't see any of her scars. And then that's when Kate's
like, no one asked me about my scars.
Which makes me go, does everybody hate Sidney?
And the answer to that riddle is yes.
Yes, everybody hates Woodsboro hates Sidney for what they feel like she has done for Woodsboro. It was
and then they were just like, oh no, knife scars.
Yeah, and then Kate was like, oh, okay.
Everyone clearly they immediately paint the picture that everyone hates Sidney.
Yes, very clear.
Not just hate, they're fucking jealous of her.
And I think that's what it boils down to.
Stupid.
Is that they're very jealous that she, everyone...
almost got killed multiple times and survived.
But it also wrote this, New York Times bestseller book.
Oh, of course. But New York Times, when something's a bestseller, apparently when a book is released, they ask you if you want to buy 10,000 to punch the numbers up so you can launch the book as a New York Times bestseller.
It's actually awesome. It's good to know for my book.
But then you have to like...
That comes out of the darkness too.
The copies. Steal out of the darkness.
Being in darkness, but still in darkness. What? But out of darkness.
What?
So in this scene, what made me kind of laugh too is that Emma Roberts goes upstairs. Again, Jill Roberts, whatever, fine. Jill goes upstairs, and then there's like a weird Skeet Ulrich moment where her boyfriend breaks into her house. Yeah. And then Sidney like busts in on them.
Busts in. And it's just like, she just kind of has the same face the entire scene, Sidney. She's just looking at him like, what are you doing? You remind me of someone. Me. And Emma Roberts is just like, I'm acting. They get some police outside to watch them because, you know, people were murdered. When she leaves the room, the cop, Judy, is just standing in the shadows. Yeah. Being a fucking weirdo. And she's like, hey, do you remember me? We were in the same school. And she's like, no, sorry. I was one of the cool kids until everyone got murdered.
Well, you know, what was interesting about that is that she mentioned multiple times, like, yeah, we were in homeroom together. We were in drama club together. We were in the same show of Peter Pan. Like, you fucking know me. We
did a lot of stuff. And you
how do you not know me? Yeah. And it kind of was nice to like have like this kind of creepy moment of like, well, are you the killer? Because a lot of people are just like oddly jealous or hate Sidney. Mm-hmm. So you really feel like everybody's a suspect in a way because they just fucking hate her so goddamn much at this point.
They kind of do what they did in the first one where like it could be anyone except for like 8 seconds. They're like, ooh, maybe it's this person, and then they just move on to the next thing really fast.
Yeah, a lot of people have a very creepy background on all of this.
So then Kirby and Jill are watching Shaun of the Dead, which is a fantastic move.
Olivia, who lives next door, which is like the other friend, she is coming home. She calls Kirby up and she's like, oh, hey, what are you guys doing? There's like all these police officers outside the house. Like, and she was going to come into the house, but when they told her that Sidney was going to be staying in the guest room, she's like, nah, I'll take my chances. I feel safer in my house anyway. I don't want to be with the angel of death. So she goes into her house. Jill then gets a phone call from Trevor. So Kirby takes the phone, starts talking to Trevor, and you find out that it's actually Ghostface. And then Ghostface is kind of fucking with her, being like, you know, I'm in the closet right now. Kirby gets up the courage to like open the closet door, realizing that there's nobody in that closet. Ghostface says,
I'm not in your closet.
It kind of like cuts to Olivia's house, who this whole time, by the way, is still on the phone with Jill, like listening to the whole conversation. Ghostface is in Olivia's house and then ultimately brutally fucking murders
horribly
her.
Fucking murders her.
What was interesting is that like both of the teenage girls were like screaming, and Sidney runs into the room and is like, holy shit, this girl's being attacked, Olivia. And she is the only one that does anything. She runs down the stairs. She looks into the patrol car. There's nobody there. She's like, fuck this shit. She literally breaks the window.
She breaks into the house.
And then runs up the stairs, and then I guess realizes, oh, fuck, it's probably not the best idea to do this because I ran out of adrenaline. Goes up the stairs, finds her organs are ripped out of her body. Completely... And then you hear Jill's voice, and Sidney's like, no, don't come in here. Don't come in here. This is so stupid, this part, is that Jill comes up the stairs and was like, oh my God, she's dead. Did you know she said that you were the angel of death? Like, I was like, what? This is not the most appropriate time to say that, Jill. You're being an idiot.
This currently isn't about me.
No. And then Ghostface is behind Jill. Ghostface then attacks Jill, slices her in the arm. And then Sidney literally kicks his ass down the stairs. And then fucking kicks him again, like power kicks him.
Kicks him right in the face.
Across the fucking room. And then of course.
Turns around for 3 seconds. The cops show up.
And then when they look back, they realize that there's no Ghostface. He ran out the back door.
One thing I wrote was right after Ghostface gets away, Jill is upstairs like holding her arm where she got cut. And then Sidney's like, Jill? And she's like, don't.
She gets very upset. And I'm like, why? Why are you upset? She fucking saved your ass.
Like, she beat up Ghostface.
In the same breath, you have to remember that she is a teenager. Teenagers are fucking dumb. So, like, I guess I can sympathize if I want to play devil's advocate over here. Like, think about it for yourself. If you were a stupid fucking teenage girl, you'd probably do the same fucking thing.
Realistically.
Because you're like, my best friend's dead, and everyone around you is always dead. Ugh. Literally, that's probably what she did. Her inner monologue.
I feel like she'd be more mad, like, oh, Sidney's here. It's her fault, and she saved the day. Get out of here.
Now there's more reason to talk about Sidney.
Oh, and then when I go outside, the police are like, are you okay, Sidney? And she's like, shit, get up, get away from me, I'm fine. Yeah. And people are across the street just being like, it's all your fault.
Yeah, you're just like your mother.
Just like your mother. It's like, really?
You know what's so funny is that thankfully they never mentioned that her mom's ugly. Okay. So that makes me
all right, we talked about this already.
But no, listen.
We talked about this day one.
Fucking point is that this town hates her so much. It so just shows that everybody's a fucking suspect. They cannot stand Sidney Prescott. They want to kill her.
I know. And by doing that, they're going to kill her family that she doesn't talk to or like.
I know. I'm kind of like, is there really a loss there? Probably not. No.
Gail partners with the movie dweebs. She's so desperate.
Yeah,
she's like, weird. Listen, we're gonna work together, live stream weirdo, and need to get a haircut, Culkin.
Oh God, he looks so awful.
He just looks so creepy.
Yeah,
but they're working together now. How are they gonna help you? By making movie references?
Well, this is what I don't understand. So, like the very next day after these people get murdered, she's at the cinema club. So the cinema club is actually run by the two dweeby kids, the Charlie and Trevor.
Who else would run it?
Which I was like, I didn't have a cinema club in my high school, but then again, I went to school in not a great neighborhood. We didn't have cinema club. We didn't have a lot of things. Okay?
To be fair, my school probably did.
Yeah, you did. You went to Long Island. God damn it. They didn't have that. We were dodging fucking bullets in my high school. Anyway, we didn't have time for cinema club. Sidney and Gail are at cinema club where they're going to host a Q&A about the Stab movies. But ultimately, they're only doing that because Gail wants more information from the cinema dweebs about the potential killer because there was no Randy Meeks in this whole fucking movie.
So they had to resort
to two 17-year-olds.
Yep, to get the job as one stupid Randy.
Basically, in their whole like meandering bullshit, you kind of find out that this is now a remake of the Stab movies.
So they're like, remake rules.
Yeah, so the remake rules is pretty much that there are no rules essentially, and it's expect the unexpected.
They say a few things.
Oh, what do they say?
You do a remake to outlive the original.
Yeah, so there's like no rules.
Culkin even says the killer should upload all kills.
He gave away the plot.
But then they look at each other and they're like,
that would imply each other.
Obviously not him. He says it, and the person next to him literally live streams his fucking high school career.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's obviously him, but it's not obviously.
It's so stupid. But like, I find that in every Scream movie, there's always the killer literally giving away the whole fucking plot. And you're just like,
3, ironically enough.
Yeah, and number 3, he kept it to the vest. I appreciate that.
That was
Roman, I appreciate him keeping it to the vest.
He wasn't like, hey guys, I'm totally the killer. How about in this role, I'm the killer.
He dropped hints though in terms of like age and like certain things, but he ultimately was like, literally number 1, fucking Billy and Stu are like, I didn't call you a killer, son. All right, that was one.
He's like, number 2, I got your back, other killer.
Number 2, both Timothy O'Flynn and Debbie Salt on multiple occasions was like, fucking, we are the killers. Like,
fucking Mickey, the entire movie gave like, hey, I'm the killer vibes.
But then he would just be like, too bad you didn't get sliced and diced tonight.
It's a shame. I'll get you next time, Sid.
But this kid literally says like, in order to do this, like, you're gonna have to like live stream and like fucking post your stuff because basically making you immortal and you're putting your art out there. Mm-hmm. Like, this kid, like, he's 17, y'all. How are you guys not fucking raising red flags right now?
There should, just mentioning this shit should be like a red flag. Huge red flag.
Well, that's the weird thing about Woodsboro is that everybody's so fucking stupid. Like, they don't realize it. And the fact that Gail is working with 17-year-olds, because that's what mean going rogue is. I don't know. Oh my God. We find out during this whole thing called Stabathon exists, and it's the 3rd annual Stabathon. It's a very secret event that usually it's like everybody in the high school goes to, and they rent out like a barn in the middle of nowhere.
In a barn, they watch all the Stab movies.
All 7 of them.
Yep.
Which I was like, first of all, that sounds awesome. Night.
That does sound awesome.
I wish that existed when I went to school because I would totally do something like that.
But that would never exist.
No,
it would just be someone in someone's basement just being like, hey guys, what is a Stabathon?
Yes, exactly. Like,
and you're just like, can you stop breathing so loud? Okay, Mark?
First of all, that was a personal attack against me. Fuck you.
It wasn't.
I think they wanted to ask more questions about Stabathon.
Yeah, but then they're like,
shut them down.
It's exclusive.
They're like, fuck
and
you.
then they were going to do a Q&A, and
then
Gail was just like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And then they both leave.
Favorite part of that whole thing was she was like, where's the circle jerk having? Because that's what I love about Gail Weathers.
The whole time she's so like aggressive to them, and it's great.
Well, she's aggressive to the whole time. Anyone that tries to fuck with her, she's aggressive to literally
for them. Everyone except for Sidney.
It's so good. Yeah, Sidney, she's just like, it's whatever. Like, your book's doing well.
We got this. It's fine. Right, you're bestseller. Well, welcome to the club. Am I right? Super quick. Do you want to jump back to the same night Olivia was murdered?
Yeah.
There's another kill that we completely glossed over. Rebecca, Alison Brie.
Oh yeah,
because they go to the hospital. Yeah, it's super fast. So they go to the hospital.
Oops.
And she's just like, "Oh, we can get 3 more book deals. Like, you're going to be great. You get so much more money, so much more popularity. And Sidney's like, go fuck yourself. Because she's not in it for the money.
Stupid bitch.
She's using... She's using it as an actual growing experience, not a money cash grab action.
God, obviously this was 2011.
So then she fires her. And then when she's going back to her car, she gets killed in the parking garage. But right after she gets killed, it cuts to Dewey
having a press conference.
A press conference at night outside
of
the hospital. And he's like, guys, everything's okay. We have some fucking leads.
That's right. We're so close to fucking solving this. Like,
he's like, guys, like, we're literally this close. We're like 97% close to solving the shit. And then they just throw Rebecca's body onto the news van. And then Gail's just like, hey, idiot, you got it under control now?
Well, she was the first thing when he was like, all right, I'll take questions from the reporters. And she was like, Gail Weathers here from the Woodsboro murders. Don't you think that the killers, obviously, I forgot what she says, but it was very like to the point and very like,
it was very like correct. And like that they're mimicking
the original Woodsboro murders. He's just like, Gail, not right now.
He's like,
go home, later.
Bitch. Ask me when we both get home.
And then that's when Rebecca's poor body. Honestly, I'm so sorry I completely glossed over that because it was just like, it was a random kill.
It was also, I don't know, the one thing I do appreciate about this one is everything's fast.
Yes. Oh, yeah. This was a very fast movie, and there was a lot of action that happened. Yes, I'll give him that. The kill for Rebecca, I was like, oh, okay. Like,
it wasn't anything special. She gets killed in a parking garage.
Yeah, and then they throw her body off.
She also does run across the parking garage in heels.
Very high heels, too, which I was like, girl, I would have took those shits off, fucking thrown them at somebody.
Yeah.
But
then she just gets stabbed.
Yeah, she dies. But I love it. She was just like, we can go to New York, have all this money. And Sidney's like, no, I have integrity. Like, shut up, bitch.
Like, over it.
So that evening, Stabathon, which by the way looks like the coolest fucking thing.
It looks awesome.
Middle of nowhere, like this fucking abandoned barn house is like all decked out.
Yeah. Huge screen.
Halloween decorations.
Sound
it looks
system.
so cool.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I was like, oh man.
Except for all the shitty kids there. It sounds great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I hate high school children.
Oh my God. I pretty much wrote like, this would never happen.
No.
It's so unrealistic.
I know.
Because it's such a nice setup. How do these 2 movie dweebs do this?
I know. Like, it's like, when did you have the time?
How did they, the time, the resources?
Yeah.
Where do you get that big screen, the projector, all the lights? How does that farm have power? Is it someone's farm? Is it an abandoned farm? How are they?
I love how you're hung up on this farm.
I'm just curious. All right.
You yell at me about my whacked out things.
Okay. About what? Cotton Weary?
Cotton Weary was a godsend. That's for you, Nick.
Take that.
Take that, Nick. Hope you're listening, Nick.
I can't wait for that text. So it shows someone in the Scream mask, and it's Gail putting up fucking security cameras.
Oh, I love that she showed up to the party with the little Scream mask on, and she's like giving thumbs up and like being a high schooler. And I was like, high school in what, in the fucking 70s? It's like, oh, come on, yo.
This is what high school kids do. Yeah.
But she has 3 wireless huge cameras that are at least like 3 feet long.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Like, you think the one
4
of the
cameras.
4, yeah. You think the one of the like the first one that she plants is big?
This is even bigger.
At least this one, it's more than in a room where everyone's staring. Mm-hmm. I mean, she puts one under the screen, but it's still a little more finesse than she did in the first one. No. So she's learning. There's no delay.
No, there's no delay.
It's live.
Which is pretty great.
Oh my God.
Technology did well. She places her cameras and she's very proud of herself. She goes and sits back into her car. She's like, I'm super excited. You also find out at the party, not only are the cinema dweebs there, you have Kirby and Trevor as well. Kirby was trying to invite Jill to come out, but Jill was like, yeah, I can't leave the house because, you know, I don't know, Olivia died next door. My mom's freaking the fuck out. So she's like, all right, cool. So nothing really eventful kind of happens during the Stabathon in the beginning because it's just like a bunch of just shitty
They're just showing clips of what's her face from the first Stab movie.
I forgot who the actress was. Heather Graham. Graham. So they show the first scene of that and like whatever. Nothing really exciting happens.
No.
So then you kind of cuts to Gail sitting in her car looking at all the little video cameras and she's realizing that each one of her cameras are slowly being turned away.
Yeah. Right after she's like, I fucking got this. I'm so fucking good.
And she started actually voice recording her new book, which I was like, oh man, she just needed murders to happen.
Best.
She thrives off of tragedy so much. When she realizes all the cameras are starting to turn around, one of them was actually Ghostface that turned the last one around. She's like, oh, fuck this. Like, oh my God, it's just happening. She calls her husband Gooey up, and Gooey is just kind of like, what are you doing, Dale?
I thought you went doing?
Dale was just like, hey, the fucking killer is up in Stabathon. Yo, you should get your ass over here. Protect this town. Come.
Just do something, idiot.
And he's like, ugh. And he hangs up on her and then does just a fucking 180.
Oh my God.
Goes to the other way, go into this abandoned farmhouse. And that's when Dale goes back into the farmhouse and starts.
It's so confusing with the Dale and Gooey.
Gail goes back into the farmhouse, and then she goes up to like the upper loft area where there was nobody there, but that was like, I guess, like her best camera where it was like looking down at people, and that's where a Ghostface was. She picks up the camera and she's like looking at it like, that's weird, like why is it being, turned around? And then she notices in the distance that there's also a camera watching her, and she's like, what the fuck? So as she was like looking at the new camera that was watching her, Dewey somehow gets there really fast, goes to her car and realizes that she had the laptop open, and he could see that Gail was just about to be attacked, because now you see Ghostface behind her. It was so fucking stupid. He's like screaming, no, Gail! Runs back into the farmhouse, and that's when Gail miraculously turns around just in time before getting stabbed.
Just in time.
Gail is fighting off Ghostface, and they kind of like punch at each other and whatever. Ultimately, Dewey comes in, sees Ghostface, takes one shot in a crowded barn where there's millions of children everywhere, misses Ghostface. Ghostface then stabs Gail. Gail's like, ah, and then rolls out of the loft onto the floor.
And then Dewey shoots again, misses
again, because he's just not, even though he was so good in number 3 where he got like a perfect headshot, it's like he forgot how to use his gun.
He doesn't have to.
That's right, because nothing happens in Woodsboro. Yeah. And now he's just like, this is not full of blanks? God damn.
He's like, oh, I thought this was my squirt gun.
So Ghostface obviously leaves, gets out of there, and now he's like tending to his wife that got stabbed in the shoulder. So not anything crazy. Still it hurts, but she got stabbed in the shoulder.
I wrote Dewey worst shot in the USA.
Dewey's useless. Now it cuts back to the Roberts house where it's just Sidney talking to Jill. Jill has like chocolate milk and a string cheese she's eating as a snack, which I was like, that's a disgusting combination.
I mean, solo each one, yes, I'm on board.
But together, like
eating cheese
gross.
And then fucking chugging it down with chocolate milk is a big yikes for me.
Oh my God. She's this nasty, nasty child. Sidney's trying to give like a pep talk to her, being like, I know exactly how you feel like when I was your age and all this stuff was happening to me. It really was terrible. So like, I get you, sis. And I love how Jill is just
exactly what happens.
Unable to act, and she's just like, I'm really sorry that your publicist is dead. Like just very just dramatic and leaves the room. But what was interesting about that though is that when Sidney was I guess like watching her leave or whatever in like the reflection, she kind of like lingered.
She kind of like peeked back in.
She like lingered but didn't go up the stairs. She kind of like went around.
It's kind of like, what the fuck was that? And then later you're like, oh.
Yeah, like, I get you. I know what's going on.
I see you, bitch.
Mm-hmm. Nothing really, like, kind of eventful exactly happens.
Well, what does happen is Sidney hates wind chimes.
In this part, is kind of like wherever, like, all the crazy stuff is actually starting to happen.
Everything
now.
happens at once, yeah.
So the 2 police officers that have been monitoring the house, they both get killed.
Yeah, instantly. Like
horribly stabbed. One gets stabbed in the brain.
But at least this is more plausible than how the cops got killed in the second one when they were taking Sidney away.
Oh, the second one was so dumb.
They had the opportunity. Yeah. He had his gun out. Nothing. Yeah. This one, the one guy gets fucking just stabbed in the back, doesn't see it coming, and then the other guy gets stabbed right in the fucking forehead.
I know. And then he just yells,
and he says,
fuck Bruce
Willis, and then dies.
So I was like, all right. Like, okay. The most noticeable thing, too, is that the weird Aunt Kate was
She was
outside.
Like nighttime shopping?
Yeah, she was just like, I stress shop when there's murders.
I stress buy groceries.
I'm going to go get all these groceries. Who fucked with my wind chime?
Like, someone hates my wind chime. Is it you?
The most probably notable thing in this whole fucking scene that was just like, who cares?
Yeah.
Is that when they were trying to leave out of the front door, Ghostface is literally running up the fucking stoop and is like, and they close the door on the arm, and Kate then tries to like get down like on the floor, like push her body against it to sit, and Sidney then just like, all right, come on, Kate, let's go, we gotta go. And you find out that Kate got stabbed in the back or whatever.
Like upper back
with a knife
fucking
through
mail slot.
The mail slot. I was like, oh, that's creative. Sidney's running out of the house. She then meets up with Deputy Judy, who was like, oh my God, like, I can't even find the fucking patrolman. Like, what's going on here? Kate's dead. Show me. So she shows where Kate's body is. And then Sidney just like
fucking
runs
bolts
away. She finds out that Emma Roberts texted Kirby like, hey, my mom's being crazy. Just can you please come get me?
I need to get out of the
up.
house. Yeah.
So that's what happens. So that's when she finds out that, oh, she's with Kirby. So Sidney is now on her way to Kirby's house. And this is kind of like the last scene now.
Yeah,
this
we're almost there. Everything's pretty fast in this movie, at least.
Yeah. I would say so.
Kirby's house, no parents. Filled with alcohol.
They never talk about like where her parents are or anything like that. But she lives in a very sexy house where everything is red.
And like reclaimed wood.
Yeah, reclaimed wood, like blood red, leather. I was like, this is ridiculous.
This is where businessmen are born.
It really was.
Robbie is like freaking out. Recordy boy
was freaking out because he was just like, oh my God, like we run Sabathon. Somebody fucking almost got killed. They're going to come for us now. I'm freaking out. Of course, Charlie and Kirby are giving the fuck me eyes to each other.
Non-stop.
So they're like, whatever. Okay. Recordy boy goes outside and he's so stupid because like he's drunk. He walks into a fucking plant.
Yeah, he does.
Ultimately flipping his little camera the other way, not even noticing. And then he just kind of wanders off.
He just
like, you don't know where the fuck he is.
When people are getting murdered.
Who cares? Fuck him. And we go back into the house and you have Kirby and Charlie. And then they have like this very weird, awkward kiss. It's broken up by Trevor, which Trevor invited himself to the party.
Well, Trevor said someone texted him.
Oh, that's right. He said Emma Roberts texted him.
Mm-hmm.
So then Charlie storms out of the room. And my favorite thing is when Trevor just looks at Kirby and goes, like, he's like, oh, did I break up something?
Did I interrupt something?
And she kind of just looks at him.
And she just keeps looking at him.
And he's like, shut the fuck up. And that just made me laugh because I was like, that's the most realist thing that happened in this movie. Like, oh, that's so good.
Like, really him?
So then it cuts to Charlie. Charlie ultimately kind of realizing like his shit is on backwards.
Yeah, he like holds his phone up.
He's like, what am I recording? The back of me? This is weird.
So he flips it back, puts his phone up, and the door in front of him opens.
And it's Ghostface.
And then he gets stabbed.
Horribly stabbed.
And then when he's on the ground, he's like, I'm gay.
Yeah, he just screams, I'm gay, because that was the one thing.
That was one of the rules.
You are able to survive if you're just gay.
If you're gay.
So I was like, nah, it doesn't work like that, sweetie, but okay.
So he said it, and the killer paused, and then stabs him again.
Of course, now like they're kind of all getting separated one by one. Kirby is just like, she's just like hanging out whatever on the couch alone. Everybody like left her, and she starts looking for like Emma Roberts' character. Emma Roberts' character.
She left like fucking 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
She went upstairs or whatever.
She comes down and she's like, oh, I never texted that kid Trevor. Like, I don't understand what the fuck he's talking about. Mm-hmm. They want to open the door. Who's at the door? But Sidney. Sidney's like, oh my God, that's where you are. Your mother's fucking dead. We got to get out of here. We got to go, bitch. And then, of course, as she's turning around to get them out of the house, that kid Charlie.
Yeah, they find him.
Recordy boy starts coming up the fucking porch stairs, like all bloody and shit, and was like, run. And then literally drops dead. And Ghostface was behind them and running up the door. And she's like, not again. And she like slams the door. Ghostface was not having it. They were running up the stairs. I think they all split up. Kirby, I think, just like went down to the basement or whatever. Sidney followed Jill up the stairs. And then Sidney like kicks Ghostface down the stairs, which was very weird. And then they lock themselves into a bedroom.
Sidney's like, go under the bed. I'm going outside because there's no other way out. Then there's this weird little roof chase scene. And she runs around outside, gets back in, meets up with Kirby. It cuts to Dewey. Everyone's dead. He starts getting all the police to Kirby's house, which takes forever. Yeah. That leads Sidney up with Kirby in the basement. They're locked in. Charlie walks up, has blood on his hands, and don't let him in. Sorry. He gets tied up in like 8 seconds.
I don't really understand that, but it's supposed to mimic, I think, the first movie.
Yeah, but it's so fast. The lights go off. Let's go on. He's completely tied up.
It's also not that fucking dark outside, so obviously you could see somebody fucking literally scotch taping somebody to
you'd be like, oh, that's clearly a person.
It's so stupid.
But
all right,
then they do like the horror movie quiz trivia bullshit that they did in the first one.
Yeah.
And Sidney runs away.
Well, Sidney's trying to find Emma Roberts because she's still upstairs. Well, she thinks she's upstairs under the bed.
Yeah, but she's not. Kirby is answering all the questions, and then the killer stops talking, so she just goes outside to untie him. He gets up, and then he just stabs her. He's one of the killers. Oh my God. But his reasoning was kind of stupid. Like, it took you 4 years to notice me.
Yeah.
Like, that happens to kids across America, across the world, daily. Sydney is upstairs. She gets headlocked by fucking Charlie, and then killer number 2 comes out, reveals it's Acty McGee.
She's the worst.
It's rough.
And I think this is what kind of annoys me about now the course of like the next fucking 15 minutes of this movie. movie.
Because it's a lot.
Is that she is just like, I am so upset at you because you got all the fame and glory. Like, you do know what it's like to have to fucking grow up in a house where all they talk about is you. It's like she dismisses the fact that her aunt got brutally raped and murdered by two little fuck faces. The fact that she has gone through multiple times of almost being murdered and still is trying to make it about her. The problem with me is that her acting is so bad that it's just like, I can't even watch it.
No,
and this is what makes the movie a good movie into a bad movie because of her shitty acting.
I agree.
So essentially they were recording all the murders because they were going to piece it together YouTube video style to fucking post on the internet, and that both her and Charlie were going to be the sole survivors and that they were going to pin it on Trevor and Sidney. The reason why they chose Trevor is because Trevor cheated on her and she felt like she got nothing out of it. It was like, okay, so she willingly killed her mom because she wanted to commit to character. But I want to be like, sweetie, you're not like, this is, if you think this is committing, this is like, you're a shitty actress. So all of this is kind of going on, and she is about to stab Charlie like Stu and Billy did to each other.
Well, first they bring Trevor out. He was tied up just like in the first one.
Oh yeah, like the dad.
Yeah, and then she shoots him in the dick.
Yeah,
which I thought was pretty fun. Head. Yeah. So it's like one and done. At least that was fast. So then they do the stab like in the first one, but except he's like, stab me in the shoulder. She stabs him in the heart, and she's like, no, everyone cares about a single survivor more.
Sole survivor.
Sole survivor. Just look at this one over here. Then she stabs Sidney.
Yes.
It's all
in the stomach.
Yeah, in the stomach.
Yeah.
And then your favorite scene of the movie happens.
Oh, this is the best scene.
Where she just kicks her own ass. She stabs herself in the shoulder. Funniest part is when she runs into the fucking painting.
Oh, it's so good. She runs to the picture frame. Yeah.
And then she Chris Farley's into the glass table.
So good.
And then she crawls up next to Sidney and like does the same, literally lays like the same
like,
way.
So do I hold my hand like this? Okay.
Dewey finally shows up. So everyone gets rushed to the hospital, except, the corpses. It cuts to Dewey talking to Jill, who's like, you're going to make this?
Yeah, she's like getting out of her weird day coma. And she's like, oh my God, this is so exciting. I am so like, I can't believe everybody I know is dead. And she's like saying this almost smiling.
Oh my God, she is.
Which is the weirdest thing to say and really creepy. She's like, oh my God, like I really hope when this is all over that me and your wife could co-write the next book and we have matching scars.
Yeah, we could be stabby sisters in the same spot and write a book.
And then she's like, I just wish, tear, tear, Sidney was here to see it. Tear, tear, tear. And that's when Dewey was like, well, good news. Sidney is a fighter. She is like in whatever. She's in the ICU. She hasn't woken up yet, but
it's touch and go.
She's touch and go, but she might make it. And then you could just tell that this disdain on Emma Roberts' face.
So
like, are you
obvious.
Fucking kidding me? Fuck. It cuts to Dewey going back to Gail, and Dewey says to Gail, like, oh yeah, I was just talking to Jill. She's doing great. She actually said that you guys are gonna, maybe write a book one day with your matching scars. And then Gail's like, how the fuck does she know I have a scar? And they're like, huh? Mm-hmm. And then they realize she's the killer. So in this empty hospital.
No one's there.
Nobody's there. Dewey is running towards Sidney's room. And who's in Sidney's room as she wakes up from her little ICU slumber? But it's Jill, who's just like, I'm really tired of this. Why can't you just die? It's so ridiculous. Yep. Dewey gets hit in the head with
bedpan.
Yeah, bedpan. A metal bedpan.
5 times.
I was like, okay, that could hurt somebody.
Yeah, that could take you down. They get the jump on Doof and take him down.
Yeah.
And then Gail shows up and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because now she has a gun. Judy tackles them into the other side.
Deputy Judy runs in, protects Gail, and then
she shoots Judy. She's gonna shoot Gail. And that this time Sid's behind her because she took her out.
She somehow finds the way after being stabbed and fucked up by Emma Roberts.
She was needing the stitches.
They usually break it out for
defibrillator.
Defibrillator. They have that machine. She somehow switches it on.
Turns out it's max volume.
And you hear it and obviously this doesn't trigger anything for Emma Roberts' character. She's just like, whatever, I don't care. And my favorite thing is when Gail Weathers is about to be shot and she's like, can I just have one word? One word. And she's like, fine. What are you going to say? And then Gail's like, clear.
She's like, clear?
Like, clear? And then Sidney's like, yeah, clear, bitch.
She just fucking zaps her, and she's just down, and everyone's like, wow, great job.
She fried her brain. Like, smoke was coming off her fucking head.
She was definitely well done.
So now they're all on the floor together, like, laughing about it. Like, oh, remember that time my cousin tried to kill me?
Yep.
She somehow
then, of course, she gets back up.
Yeah.
And fucking Sidney just caps her.
And says, don't fuck with the original. Which I was like...
like, come on.
Claps to you, bitch.
But
and then at the end of it, they cut to outside the hospital where there's like at least like 5 reporters, and they're like, we are so excited to talk to Jill Roberts, America's sweetheart, straight out of a horror movie. She saved the fucking day. She is awesome.
The next American hero, Jill Roberts. Yeah.
And honestly, I know we kind of like glazed over the ending a little bit, but like her basic reasoning too is that she just really wanted to be the next Sidney.
Yeah, she wanted
the next Sidney Prescott.
She wanted that popularity that Sidney did not want.
She didn't want friends. She wanted fans. She wanted people to look up to her and admire her for all the shit that she has gone through. She's like, why would I go to college when I can have a career as being a fucking person that people feel bad for? Which I was like, accurate, because a lot of people do that.
Real life, yeah. No, it's 100% true.
So I thought that was really fucking funny. That's what it's boiled down to, is that she just wanted love. But not
no, she wanted likes.
She wanted likes.
It's more likes.
She wanted obsessive likes and love from fans than she would have with her own fucking friends, her good friends, and as well as a boyfriend. So fuck those people, right? Also, we didn't talk about too, like the whole scene of her like exposing everything, is that you also find out that Charlie is actually in a relationship with Emma Roberts' character, and it's very quiet about it, which is also kind of strange, because it's like, were they always in a relationship together, or did it happen because she got broken up with by Trevor, which actually happened very recently? So it kind of makes you wonder if they were always seeing each other and this was always the plan.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility.
So
they don't go that deep into it, like planning and shit like that.
No.
When like Stu and Billy were like, hey, this happened.
Right.
We've been planning this. We did all this shit. Also, I just don't know how these two small childs took down all these people that fast. Like, same night, multiple kills.
Well, that's the thing, is that Sidney was the only person to actually kick their ass, and that actual police officers couldn't do it.
It's true.
So I was like, how is that even possible? Lay on some fun facts.
All right. That was the last film directed by Wes Craven. Sad face.
That's really sad.
I know. Before he passed away at 76. This is the first time they used a CGI knife.
Really?
Yeah.
When?
It didn't say a specific scene, but they didn't want to use like a rubber or cardboard knife.
Weird.
I know. I'm surprised. Usually they just use the collapsible knives.
Yeah.
Jill Roberts could have been Ashley Greene.
Oh, it would have been so much better.
Also, Selena Gomez.
I'll take Selena. Oh, God.
Yeah, Sidney didn't have the Greek letters in this one. That she was over it because it's another 10 years later.
Because she's out of darkness.
Hilary Duff was attached to the movie for a brief unnamed role. They didn't say what.
I wonder if she could have been like Kirby or...
Yeah, maybe.
Olivia.
Oh, this was the 15th anniversary of Scream.
Oh, that's adorable.
Here's one for you. Shane Dawson auditioned for a part and got a callback. Producers thought he was a nothing at the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Isn't that hilarious? It was for Robbie.
Oh, he would have been so good as Robbie.
I think that would have worked.
And I know he's a very big Scream person. Yeah, very big.
That too.
He would have been great as Robbie.
I know. I feel like
that bums me out.
I know. I feel like they missed something there.
Should tweet at him and be like, "Hey, I heard you were gonna be Robbie. Fucking Christ, bro! You could have killed it."
But he was still invited to the premiere.
That is so shitty. Hey,
I know. Like,
by the way,
you didn't get it, but still, come watch the movie.
Let me show you what you could have been, but obviously we didn't want you.
Alternate for Judy Hicks, Christina Ricci.
That would have been... She would have been good playing a creepy character.
I was going to say, she would definitely do the creep.
Yeah, she would have been good at that.
First time in the franchise where a killer was pictured on the poster.
Oh.
Total body count for the Scream franchise, 43.
Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of death in Woodsboro. Shit.
Well, some of them were for Stab 3.
Woodsboro had a lot of murders, though.
There was a plan for Scream 5, but it got canceled.
Oh.
And then they did the TV show.
The following as a Scream TV show, like what it's supposed to be, like, or Scream 5 as the following would have been way better.
Only Scream where the murders aren't because of Maureen Prescott.
That's not true.
I mean, yes,
everything
not
is about
directly,
right? But the whole reason why Sidney was attacked was because of Maureen Prescott.
True, but this is all about Sidney. This is all about jealousy of Sid, which yes is because of Maureen Prescott.
So that's the first three are about Maureen, about being a dirty slut, and then the last one, I love how it's like not about Maureen Prescott, but it is though, because if Maureen Prescott didn't get murdered, none of this would have happened to Sidney. Nobody would have given a shit about Sidney. She would have been like fucking no-name, fucking probably side actress for some shitty hemorrhoid commercial.
I mean, sometimes you gotta get the preparation age, okay?
Listen, I'm not denying that or confirming that. People need it. But yeah, she could have had a great life as being a no-name.
Final thoughts, Scream 4.
I really like Scream 4. I think if I'm going to rank them here, it'd be Scream 1, Scream 4, and Scream 2, Scream 3. Scream 3 is my ultimate, like, last one. Scream 4 is really good in the sense that the story moves very fast. There's a lot that's happening. You don't feel very confused, although I feel like we were very confusing in telling it, but it's very fast paced and I appreciate that. What I don't like about Scream 4 is Emma Roberts because I don't think she's a really great actress. She only plays one role and that's herself.
And that's Emma Roberts.
And if she's a cunt, she's great at it. I just wasn't buying it. Even when she was like upset, it was just like, ugh, like it was cringy.
Very forced. Yeah.
And very forced. And I didn't like that. I don't know. Like it wasn't believable. Everybody else did a fantastic job, everybody else, but her character for me ruined that experience, and so I hate that for that very fucking reason. But other than that, I thought it was a fantastic movie. It's just Emma Roberts ruined it for me because of her shitty fucking acting. But like the plot though, in terms of like the resolution of it, of like she only did it because she was just jealous of Sidney. Very
as stupid as it is, it's
very plausible.
Highly plausible.
Very plausible. Yeah. And it totally makes sense. And I know people that would probably fucking do that anyway. So I agree with that. That's it. I liked it. I really did. I really liked it. It's just, you know, her acting killed it.
Yeah, she was definitely the weakest part of the movie.
Yeah.
It was good, fast-paced, a lot of kills, really fast. I just don't think these two kids could have pulled that off.
No.
Because it was like multiple shit, like different locations, same night, while people are watching you. It's like a lot really fast.
Yeah. Like timeline-wise, it doesn't make sense.
How would they be able to do this? Like when Olivia and Rebecca in the same night, like, okay, maybe, because it's before everyone was on lockdown. But, like, fucking still, like, the timing and of everything, like, being in the right place, right time.
Also, like, how far is everything? Like, technically...
Apparently, Kirby lives 40 minutes away from everyone.
Well, that's what I'm saying, too, is that everybody is really far away. All these places are really far away, yet people are able to get there in, like, record timing, yet the police can't. So I don't understand that. The whole scenes of, like, when Emma Roberts' mom gets killed, like, she was already at the barn because she stabbed Gail Weathers, but then she stabbed her mom. Like, stuff like that, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, timeline-wise doesn't make any sense. But I agree with you. Probably the most unrealistic thing is that these two kids, and they were, like, dweeby weenies.
They were, like, skinny
that I was like,
kids.
They couldn't fuck up a fly. Like, how are they fucking up huge people? Are you fucking kidding me? No.
Yeah, that's about it. But I like this
and
one.
Billy made sense. Like, they were big fucking guys. They were big, and they were like, you could tell that they could kill somebody. Even number 2, you had Timothy O'Flynn. He was a big dude. He could fucking kill people.
It was Debbie Salt who was the one who was like, oh, okay, come on.
Well, Debbie Salt, that was more of like a fuck you, Jamie Kennedy situation. Yeah. And then last but not least, in number 3, you had Roman. And Roman, like...
he had a solid build.
Yeah, and he didn't really kill anybody. I mean, no, Cotton Weary was pretty big. Or whatever.
But when Cotton got killed, he got hit in the fucking head with a golf club moments before he got stabbed.
Thanks, Christine.
Thank you. Assist by Christine. Thank you.
So, I mean, yeah, it just... These were probably the weakest killers out of all of them.
But I like that they had a lot of gore in this one.
Yeah,
they went back to, like, old school horror. Yeah. But, I mean, it had good points. It had not good points.
But at the end...
I like it overall.
Yeah, oh, yeah, totally. But at the end of the day, Sidney Prescott's right. Don't fuck with the original.
True.
And, yeah, I like that.
Yes, and no Cotton Weary.
Justice for Cotton.
Okay.
Justice for Cotton.
Okay.
I'm not Scream 4.
That's Scream 4.
Oh, I'm done with this series.
Yeah,
I'm done with this
we
franchise.
finally don't have to talk about Prescott anymore. I'm very excited.
As much as I'm sad to not have to talk about Cotton Weary or, you know,
Gale Weathers.
Gale Weathers never dies. I'm also okay with it. Like I think I've run its course.
A break from the series is fantastic.
I'm ready to talk about something new. Give me something
else.
New.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Perfect.
All right. Follow us on Twitter at BoardPod. Tweet at me. Yell stuff.
Love me.
And we'll see you later.
Yeah. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.